This story is called Identity Theft, and it's only a very short one. They say he's a man of many faces, that he speaks with many tongues. I mean, that's how he's won all those awards for his stories, isn't it? That he has insights and empathy, that his books appeal to all ages, all colours and nationalities, that he brings different stories to everyone who reads them, different voices for each of his characters. And who am I to disagree? I'm just one of those voices, that's who. But you want to ask what it's really like in here. Crowded, that's what. Ask any writer's muse. Honestly, there's hardly any room in here for him. For Steve, I mean. All these voices he's borrowed from other people and squirreled away over the years. It all began with him reading books at an early age, out loud, and doing all the different characters' voices. He had a real talent for it even then, so I'm told. Same with TV for a while, learning the scripts, playing out the parts and so on. But then when he got into his teens, he discovered role-playing games. Oh boy, you think writers are messed up? You should try sharing headspace with someone who's a fighter thief 1 minute, a female warrior monk the next, and at times a snot-gobbling orc. Next thing is, he starts writing his own stories. But he's borrowing words and ideas, tales from real people. You know, while he's waiting in line at the store, or at a coffee shop, or at work. He's always listening. Then he takes what he wants and stows it away for later. My name's Sharon, by the way. I think I'm the most important voice in his head, but then I suppose I would think that. I've been around a long time compared to some, and I've been in so many of his stories I've lost count. Steve likes to think of me as his female muse, but to be honest, I think of myself as just a voice, and a quiet one, except when he needs me to give a female perspective on his writing, he tells himself. But aside from the odd time like now while he's passed out drunk, I don't really have much of anything to say or do, except what he gives me. None of us do. Anyhow, I said it was crowded in here. Looking around inside his head, Steve's so deep asleep thanks to the meds he's on. He doesn't even know how loud he's snoring, so there's a lot of relaxing going on in here. I see a couple of tradesmen with their hard hats and high-vis vests, playing cards and drinking mugs of tea. I hear one of them will soon be burying the other in the garden of a new house they're building, and they're chatting about how that makes them both feel. And I see two old guys holding hands, sitting on logs waiting for their next role, wondering if he mightn't write that story he's been planning for them after all, worrying what will become of them if their story isn't told. Next to them is a female Jewish mime artist who's trying to find her voice. Ironic, eh? And alongside her is a young black boy playing hide-and-seek with his white half-sister, who's actually terrified he might find her, no doubt thanks to her abusive father. And there's the alcoholic mother and the wayward son who's suppressed his sexuality. All stereotypes, more or less, but all characters he draws on when he needs us for his stories. Sometimes, when he summons me, he stands in front of the mirror, and I see a change come over him. He goes from whatever he was before, maybe a wizard casting a spell, or a mounted policeman, or a female archer who's hunting for centaurs. Whatever. So then he holds his hands out in front of him and starts waving them around till he can call me up, draw me into him. And that's when the pain starts. Each time he channels me, it hurts so bad. You ever been a victim of identity theft? I don't mean just digital. I mean, did someone go rummaging through your personal things, your garbage, steal all your credit and social security details, photographs of your kids and your folks? Well, believe me, the pain and the heartbreak you felt then is nothing like having your real identity stolen. He wears us like a mask, so he speaks and thinks and feels like we do, except really it's us doing the feeling, usually hurting real bad one way or another, given the kind of stories he writes. They say he has none of his own, you see. No stories, no face, no real personality. Like all he is one great big bundle of others, fragments from each of us. That's why he struggles with real people, I think. He can only tell them what they want to hear, can only reflect back and be the person they want to see in him. He draws on us all for that, So like when he's having sex, he draws on a guy named Pete Monroe. And when he's offering a shoulder for some bleeding heart to cry on, then he's channeling little Ginny O'Rourke, one of the best of us in here. She's a real sweetheart. Haven't seen her come out for a while though, I can tell you. Not sure if I should be worried about her, or maybe it's Steve I should be more concerned for. The real bad part of all of this is that when he's done writing a story, done pretending to be us, he can just get rid of us if he wants to. Sometimes without warning, he just scraps us along with the story he's just tossed in the bin, and then poof, we've gone. Even for us long-termers, the ones he keeps coming back to, we're in danger too. We have a sense of when it's going to happen because we sort of fade away, lose our colour, our personality, what there is of that, until even our looks begin to fade. And when we're really on the way out, he kind of pushes us deep down. That's what I've been told by some of the old ones, till we're all wrinkled and forgotten about. Well, I'm looking in the mirror now, and all I see is an old black girl with no colour in her face, wearing a dried-up, expressionless mask. So I hope he calls on me soon. Painful as that process is, I hope. At least there's that. At least for a while, until Steve's Alzheimer's really kicks in.